Crossplay is cheating. Why? Well, there are various reasons. Are you a console player who hates PC players who have unlimited frame rates and native mouse and keyboard support? Are you a PC player in Apex Legends who hates console players who have ridiculously strong aim assist in that game? Do you hate the influx of console players using devices like the Zim and Coronis, or both, to outgun you whether you're on PC or also on console? Do you hate the 10% of all PC players in every PC first-person shooter game ever published, who use an illegal third-party aimbot program? Yes, 10% of all PC gamers cheat in multiplayer. I agree with both of you. There are reasons for both of you to hate each other, and you're well within your rights to do exactly that. Because crossplay is too much of an ambitious feature to implement into player versus player games, developers and publishers push to implement it in their games for inclusivity purposes. They have intended to do this prior to fixing issues, like the 10% of all PC gamers who cheat. Or patching their games so the Zim and Coronis will not work. They prioritize inclusivity over balancing the game when they release cross-play servers. It is ridiculous. To Respawn Entertainment's credit, at first, they did it right. They made it so Xbox players and PlayStation players share their own servers and can only join PC servers if they have a friend who is also a PC player. But therein lies the problem. Most PC players rely on console-playing teammates to dominate in gunfights because their aim assist is stronger than the aim assist given to PC players who use controllers. That's not the only way. Respawn also broke the crossplay feature. They made the mistake, and I am gonna call this a mistake, of creating a port of Apex Legends for Nintendo but on the same game engine as the PC/console versions of the game. Unlike the mobile version of the game, where the code is different, the mechanics are different, thus the game servers are different, and they get their own exclusive legend in the form of Fate and Rhapsody. However, they decided to shut it down for literally no reason. In favor of a port to the Nintendo Switch and Steam Deck. Let's start with the Switch. It was a mistake for them to port this game to the Switch instead of rebuilding the game for that specific collation of hardware because first off, the Nintendo Switch has a screen refresh rate of 30 Hz, which means they only get 30 frames per second. Second, I'll bet they spent minuscule amounts of time testing it, which is why it looks poorly optimized. Third, people who want to use the Switch will have to play in docked mode to get the full resolution of 720p, and Ethernet. Despite docking the Switch, you'd be insane to think you'd run the Apex Legends port without dropping a few frames during dynamic environment events, which Apex is famous for. Most people who buy the Switch are gonna play in mobile mode, not in docked mode. Also, the controls are infamously cheap and terrible, not something you want to use in a FPS game. Fourth, as for the customer base of the Nintendo Switch, most people who buy the device are parents who want to give their children the next best console. That means 80% of Nintendo Switch players are under the age of 13. Those are not the worst problems Nintendo Switch players have to deal with. Of course, people got banned for doing this eventually, but for the longest time since the Switch port was released, PC and console players found a way to connect to Nintendo Switch servers. That is disgusting, more disgusting than using AXIM in Rainbow Six Siege. Using platforms that get the full 60 frames per second and beyond, in order to stomp on Switch players is beyond shameful. VTuber and professional Apex player Selen Tatsuki, who is appalled by that kind of behavior, said it herself.
You know, there's a way to get into Nintendo Switch lobbies for rank. I think devs started banning for it, but in a long time ago, you can get into Switch lobbies for rank, and but you can get into Switch lobbies as a M&K player, and you can just farm Switch players. That's so sad. It was literally like kicking babies. Like, you guys saw what it was like playing a Switch lobby. That was a fucking sad shit. It's literally, you're just bullying babies at that point. It's not just bullying babies, you're literally like beating up a child, trying to get into a Switch lobby. Like, what the fuck's the point? I guess, like, if you're desperate for Pred.
Mad respect for Selen Tatsuki for calling out those kinds of players, but I'm surprised that no other professional Apex Legends players on PC and console have called out people who have used this exploit. Mad respect for PC players who regret and feel remorse over killing a Nintendo Switch player who happens to end up in a PC server instead of a Switch server due to party-based crossplay. And press F to pay their respects despite the fact that those kinds of PC players are in a minority of the player base, as the rest wouldn't care that they just ran over a Switch player with a freight train. Mad respect for Respawn Entertainment as well, for banning people who used that kind of exploit. However, that will not stop hackers from creating bypasses or custom VPN servers that circumvent the developers' efforts. Apex Legends on the Nintendo Switch was a mistake, and the only way to fix it is to delete it. As for the Steam Deck, the situation is a lot better. Although I thought it was a mistake to push Apex for full Steam Deck verification, I had my doubts as Linux is an easier operating system to develop cheats on, but this time around the devs know what they're doing. The controls are better on the Steam Deck, the APU can actually run the game. 85% of Steam Deck owners are over the age of 13 and know what they're getting themselves into, and if they get kicked around by PC players they can plug in a mouse, keyboard, Ethernet cable, and external high refresh rate display, as all of those peripherals are supported natively and they can put up a fight. The ultimate benefit, due to the unrivaled value and MSRP of the Steam Deck, people can play Apex Legends on a gaming setup that's less than $1,000. This opens the doors to a lot of players who cannot afford a full-size desktop PC. All Apex Legends needs now is a player versus environment game mode, then I'd actually play it. Wow, this video was supposed to be about crossplay and how hard it is to balance it in modern AAA titles. So far I've only given one example in the form of Apex. How about I explain examples of crossplay done right? The first one is Raid Shadow Legends. I don't need to explain this game, or why I'm not sponsored by it. Let me just explain how it's totally fair and fun to play. It's a turn-based player versus environment battle simulator that is fun to play with and against other players regardless of what hardware they use to play it on. It's impossible to cheat in Raid as you're playing with characters with custom abilities that ultimately decide who wins or loses a battle. Another two examples aren't cross-play compatible at the moment but could take pages and chapters out of Raid's Book of Success. Those games are Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Magic the Gathering. Games that feature characters or cards that can't be duplicated by cheat software, like as if they were CS:GO skins, are totally balanced for a cross-play environment, and I'm shocked that neither game has capitalized off of the success that Raid Shadow Legends has achieved. Another three examples of cross-play done right are three games called War Thunder, World of Warships, and Crossout Crossfire. All of these games are vehicle-based shooters where depending on how well you construct your vehicles, you'll gain the initiative against any opponent. You can even form squads or clans to create a stronger alliance that will seldom lose a battle. The games have good anti-cheat and are never pay to win. I couldn't recommend any games I have never ever played any more than those three games. Those games are great and I don't need a sponsorship or a second of gameplay in my life to tell you that. GG, well played. Before I end this video, I want to give one more example of balanced crossplay done right. This might be a hot take as you see me play the absolute shit out of this game, and that game is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies, in particular the Outbreak game mode. I fell in love at first sight. I can quit all of the games I play and only play this. Well, not exactly true. I can't give up Roblox Phantom Forces and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Let's say if I could live forever and only play 3 games, I'd choose those 3. Why I love Cold War so much, as it is the zombies experience where I am at my best. I'm not good at round-based zombies, but with the open world aspect of Outbreak and zombies not constantly chasing you around the map, anybody can play at their own pace. I love playing Outbreak on all three platforms, PC, Xbox, and mostly PlayStation, and I love playing with players from different platforms even better. I foam at the mouth when I see 3 PC players in my lobby, and I'm the only PlayStation player, especially if they're in a party. I almost always walk away with the highest score, the most revive, and the least downs. I'll play Outbreak even on a Nintendo 3DS or whatever their new console is that is coming soon, and still outscore a party of 3 PC players. If they implemented crossplay in all of Call of Duty's player versus environment game modes from the World at War campaign, to World War II Nazi zombies, I'd retire from any other player versus player game I'm good at playing, except Battlefront 2 and Phantom Forces. I'm all for crossplay in zombies, co-op, and any other player versus environment game mode. Outbreak Zombies is so underrated, it is sad. My only reason for pre-ordering the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the fact that Outbreak is returning with a sequel. Thanks for watching this video. Grandmaster Exorcist says hate me.